Hi Taurus, hope you're doing well. My name is Catherine. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be doing a reading for March for you tonight. I have created a new makeshift deck. I've been creating one every February for the last 3 years, so I'm using it for the first time tonight. At least the deck I created this year, so yesterday. Okay, that's too many. I just want one card. Those are just keywords. Give us a direction to start with. So let's see what happens for you in March. You get 2. I'm going to keep them. You get tasteful and astute. That's interesting. It's telling me you're relying a lot on your senses to be able to determine what is actually palatable to you, what really resonates with you if you want, that you feel is very tasteful and maybe even as far as nourishing. And you're being very astute. I guess you're on top of things, right? You've got great discernment. I think that you are also seeing very clearly, which is an amazing thing. That's more intuitive in terms of having this clarity in March. I just got chills. That's funny. It has to do with details. I'm getting chills again. It's funny. I don't know. It feels like you're really doing all the things in the right way, on time, professionally. Everything seems to be very, very well, going well. And you're clever about it. I guess that's what's astute, is like your cleverness about either how you organize your scheduling. A little bit the, when we say work smarter, not harder, that kind of energy. Let's see what the tarot wants to show you about March. Where are you applying this being astute? Okay, so you have 6 cards came out. I'm gonna so it's the Emperor in reverse, the Page of Cups in reverse, the 8 of Cups in reverse, the Queen of Swords, the 7 of Swords, and the Fool. It's an interesting, it feels, how can I say this? It has to do with how I've just displayed the card on the table, the cards on the table. So what you're not seeing is that I've placed the Emperor, the Knight, the Emperor, the Page of Cups in reverse, and the 8 of Cups in reverse together, and then under that the Queen of Swords, the 7 of Swords, and the Fool, as like separate energies. So I guess I'm sort of looking at 2 different people, 2 very authoritative people at that, people with strong personalities, very well defined, people that know each other, that know themselves, I want to say, well. I think there's an exchange between you and someone else. So at this point, I don't know if, I mean, I would suspect you're the emperor in this particular equation, but you can apply that as you wish. You can reverse the roles. Okay, so the first energy, whether it's yours or not, right? It's, I sense it's really, really, how can I put it? I want to say like two things at once and it's not coming out, obviously. So this combination, the Page of Cups with the Eight of Cups in reverse. So this is like not walking away, right? But there's a lot of disappointment here. There's a lot of cups in reverse. Nothing stays with you, right? Everything just washes out right away. Washes through, if you want. That's the impression I'm getting here. And so although it's a not walking away card, it's this impression that everything just glides. So like water on the feathers of a duck. So things don't affect you. Partly due to how closed off you are. A little bit out of... some of it is a little bit being almost so a little bit difficult and somewhat rambunctious, you know, like just hard to handle, or, you know, kind of wanting to make it hard. You know what I'm saying? So that's the little piece there where there's a... it's not just your mood. It's not just like you're just being a little bit difficult and you're kind of doing it on purpose. You're sort of pushing limits here with this particular individual. So what I really want to get at is that the Queen of Swords energy has the Seven of Swords attached to it. But this combo here on the Emperor in reverse is the same kind of like the same sort of wishy-washy energy that just, you know, slips, or that simply just doesn't stay, right? It just washes away kind of thing. So I know that this is not very concrete, very symbolic more than anything. So it feels like you and someone else are walking on eggshells around one another. It feels like it's a hide and seek kind of game, or it's a little bit of you see me, you don't see me. It's that energy of like in the case of the Emperor, it's like I'm around, but I'm not, you know, communicating, or I'm not, you know, extending myself. So you don't feel my presence even if I'm around. Whereas here, the person kind of wants to come forward and yet doesn't, you know, kind of shies away from the movement. So you're both mirroring each other in terms of some kind of attraction, repulsion kind of energy, like love, hate, that kind of strong, you know, kind of unexplainable reaction to one another, right? Or effect on one another. So maybe it has to do with this energy, right? The astute energy is very much a Seven of Swords energy in terms of the ability to be, you know, strategic, or, you know, very keen on details, and having to be very clever in order to pull whatever off there. And I don't want to apply the Seven of Swords here in particular in this reading, as the usual gloomy, you know, the full-on thief and liar, I guess, attributes. Not in this read. I feel that she's upright. She's got a lot of integrity, and she's coming in fully opened. Even if she does have the sword up, she still has a welcoming hand. And truly, it's like saying, you know, the exterior looks a little stern, but inside it's very happy and, you know, sweet and willing, right? Quite vulnerable too. But there's this energy of like wavering. So what's tasteful is the fact that both this Emperor, if it's you, or this Queen of Swords, whichever, they're both solid people, right? That's what I was saying at the beginning. And that's part of the attraction piece. It's what's very tasteful. There's something that you really appreciate in terms of each other's flavor. So there's something that greatly attracts you. Yet, I guess I want to apply being astute as, you know, okay, well, I'll be a little coy about it. Maybe don't want to show, obviously, or I should say in an obvious manner, a particular, you know, not necessarily a preference, but at least this inclination, right? So that's why this energy is so it comes and goes, right? It's an interesting feeling. Or the impression of it's there yet it's not there. All of those contradiction, basically. So I'm gonna dig more. I'm curious to know why both of you are like sort of walking on eggshells around one another. What's the reason for that? The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So someone else, in this case, not so happy. Most probably concerning this person. So we'll interpret here at different levels. So if we look at a person, being in reverse, the card is showing me that the person is susceptible. So you would probably walk on eggshells. It's funny because I just stopped myself because I feel that it's the Emperor and the Queen of Swords that are doing this dance of like wanting to know what the other is doing or seeing or saying or whatever, and yet really going, you know, the long way around, like to kind of find the information and look like you haven't gotten the information, right? You know, trying to be like super discreet about it. So almost like discreet about an interest or a certain inclination, or just something that you feel is flavorful, that you feel brings you something that enhances your life, spices it up and feeds you, which is ultimately what I think is happening. But being astute about it, the reason why all of this is going on in this manner is because it's like trying to go around this person, right? Or this, it could be a situation, could be money as well. So it doesn't have to be a person. So bottom line, it's like saying you're circling around, both you and the Emperor and this Queen of Swords want to kind of interact with one another, but they're doing so around, I guess, what's here in the center, not on the table the way the cards are placed, but the way I'm seeing things. The core of the issue kind of thing is this particular situation, person, thing, which makes you and this Queen of Swords, or you and this Emperor, somewhat, it's like it's almost like saying the way planets, you know, orbit the sun, you know, and like the timing of it all, right? Like the most incredible timing that exists, you know, in terms of the movements. And it feels like this because it feels very, first of all, it feels like it doesn't need to be said. It just happens. That's one thing. And it feels like it's well, like it's saying, you know, like it doesn't matter the position, doesn't matter the movement. It's always going to be the right movement and the right position at the right time. If you believe that life in general is orchestrated for the highest good of all at all times. So that would always be perfection. So there's most likely a very, very good reason why you'd want to circle around this thing, person, situation, embodied by the Queen of Pentacles. The way I see things in this reading, you would be the Emperor, simply because we do have two queens, I guess, outside of that energy. So I'm tempted to attribute or to say that you're the Emperor here in reverse. So you also have a particular affinity with this Queen of Pentacles. That's important to say because of the fact that you're an earth sign and the Queen of Pentacles is earth. So that matters here because you find something very tasteful there as well, something very nourishing for you. Yet there's something that this queen brings that is very different. So it's an air quality, so it's just different. I think you do enjoy the cleverness. I think you enjoy the dance, if I may say that like that. Kind of like, I'm calling it a dance because of the way that things place themselves. So one thing you're doing here, Taurus, definitely is you are kind of avoiding the Queen of Swords. It sounds funny to say kind of, but you are ignoring the Queen of Swords. Ultimately, you are. And yet, maybe you didn't want to, or you would prefer not to, but you are doing that. You are really not participating, engaging. So that's really important to note here. And I think the Queen of Swords does the same, because I do think that the Seven of Swords here ultimately will show that she's more absent than present, maybe. But you as a Taurian, closing off a little bit like this, kind of like, you know, you're very stuck in your position here. Like you're an immovable force, basically. So there's something about having made a decision, or the way you are doing things, for me here implies that you, how can I say this? At the moment, you're not also kind of really extending yourself to this other queen either. It's an interesting, I mean, maybe you have a preference, maybe you have a stronger inclination for one over the other. And it's not about measuring this here at all. It's really just the fact that if you close off, unfortunately, you close off to everyone. So it's a difficult one, right? So there's, I guess, either you're working out the dosage of that, or the workings of that, or the timings of that. I'm not sure how to say it. One thing is clear though, it's what you're getting, like, and what you're wanting out of your interactions in general. Whether you're being sort of kind of in a gray zone about it, like not really in, not really out, yet, you know, you're kind of both. And maybe like that with more than one person. Ultimately, you're looking at what it is that you need for yourself that is truly important, or that matters, I guess. I'm also going to say it's a little bit egotistical, but it's just about, you know, making sure that you get what you need. So it's a very good reflex. It's it's perfect, because obviously you need to take care of yourself first and foremost. But it is, in a sense, like, you know, it's you first. But I do think you're drinking to more than one well, in a very positive way. Again, it's about what it is that you're needing for yourself. And so you're not hesitating. And you're not compromising. You are not compromising about doing that and making those choices and the way you're doing it. I think that you're comfortable with how it's being done. Like, it's not, that is not in question, at least for you. I'm looking at the Eight of Cups. A lot of this energy is not just, it's not just the not walking away part. It's mostly, it's like saying, although the result is the same, it's just not the same approach. So it's not about leaving, it's about wanting to stay, which is totally different. So that's what I'm picking up here that is different. And ultimately, again, I think it just boils down to what it is that you need for yourself, and the reasons you know that you're there for that. and you won't compromise. It's too valuable, or it's too it's a priority for you. I'm going to draw a trinket on the Queen of Pentacles. That's very good. The Queen of Pentacles is like a little Buddha. So what I really enjoy about this energy, I think the most pleasant feeling here is the peace, how peaceful this person is. So although she's in reverse, she's not erratic. On the contrary, very peaceful. So super, still has receptivity, right? There's also the notion here of consciously like wanting to elevate yourself from what you perceive to be like very materialistic and kind of like, okay, I'm really like on this earth, and like I'm stuck to this earth, right? And not feeling like you can ever levitate. But it's not the case here. This is the contrary. This is someone who's able to transcend that, if you want, or at least that feeling for them, by either daydreaming, meditating, singing, whatever it is that they do, or the many things that they do to keep the vibrations high, the spirits high, to have a philosophical outlook on things, on situations, people, life. So there's something really beautiful about that energy. Which also shows us what it is that you're feeding on when you connect to that particular person or thing, you know. And if it was money, let's say it was just like purely money and resources, and feeling maybe like you lack resources, and so you have to deal with another person around those issues, and having to walk on eggshells around those issues. I feel that both parties have the, I guess, enough, I don't know if it's really just the fact that they would have enough, I don't know, just enough wisdom. I do want to use the word wisdom here to detach themselves from the implications of only looking at what you own and what you owe and what you gain and etc. That kind of thing. I do want to pull on the Emperor and on the Queen of Swords. So I'm going to start with the Emperor. I don't know how to call this, but you know what it is. It's to pour water into your plants. So I see this as, you know, I was telling you about, it's really interesting, because the first thing I said about these cards is how much everything was pouring out and everything was just like being washed away. And it's the same feeling here. It's more water being poured, right? Usually it's actually to feed a plant, to make it grow. So it goes back again to the tasteful and all of this soul food talk we had. So it's in line. So it's what's beautiful here, Taurus, is that having had this, sorry, I don't know the name, this particular trinket, it shows me that you're also able to nourish others, that you're not just, you know, what is tasteful is there's an exchange basically. You're not just taking away. On the Queen of Swords now, let's see. The hammer. That's funny. It's funny because it's another tool. You know, the Emperor had a tool which is, I don't know how to call that, water jug or whatever. This one is a building tool. So it intrigues me because both party, you and this other person that you're, you know, walking around on eggshells with, you know, around all of that. Both of you have, I want to say, builder energies, right? One wants to grow, the other one wants to build, because of the trinkets, what they're indicating. And the thing that is, you know, basically causing these two people, you and this other person, to be like so, like, you know, attentive and astute and clever and having to like kind of handle things very differently than you would usually, like being not so upfront about it yet still having intentions. Or so I don't want to say things like hidden agenda because they have too much of a negative connotation. It's kind of that, but it's not in a malicious way, I guess. Maybe it's better said. Just remember that it's about two people just trying to get the best out of each other and not get into each other's hair or something. It's a little bit of that. And so what they're, you know, basically maneuvering around is in a state of peace, like no concern, as if, you know, well, this is not my thing. And no concern, maybe even oblivious to this. Maybe not, who knows. But definitely not detracted or not even, you know, fazed by it. Staying very zen. So it's funny how there's really something going on here about this interaction. But it is, so that Queen of Pentacles, if it's not a person, it's just this, you know, whatever, like the feeling of, you know, what's left unsaid, the unfinished business, or whatever is this thing that you're like kind of avoiding, like that needs to be addressed. That's the whole energy of this, this thing that I'm describing about. It's being washed away, yet it's there, it's not there. It's all of this energy of, you know, something is kind of needs to be addressed and yet, you know, is not, or everyone just thinks or pretends like it's all like fine and well. Something like that. Anyways, I'll leave the reading here. I hope something resonated for you. You can let me know in the comments if you want. You can like the video, that's always nice. You can share and subscribe. So I'll see you soon. Good night.